All right, on to the snare drum. To start, I muted the kick drum, so the only thing we'll be listening to is the snare. All right, as you can hear, it's already got plenty of processing on it. Yay, samples. So one thing to note is that there's way too much reverb. On these drums in particular, we're not going to be adding a lot of reverb. I don't even think in the final mix I had a reverb channel for the drums. I had in other spots, but most of the tracks have reverb baked into them already. So I'm going to basically do the same thing that I did to the kick drum, and I'm going to duplicate it. All right, so I have snare duplicate, and then I'm going to, again, pop over to Drumagog and go into my Wendell. I believe I chose snare 2. And let's see what we got. Sounds about right. I'm actually going to turn the dynamics tracking down a little bit. That's a little better. All right. So now we're going to end up with this. And what I'm going to do is then just that sounds about right. Where's my snare? There we go. And then I'm going to turn that back on. I already had a group created, S for snare. All right, now I'm going to turn that off. Do a little bit of processing. We will start with an 1176. I've been favoring the Softube a lot lately. 4:1 ratio is fine. We're going to play with the... We'll reset that. I'm going to play with my attack and release and see what type of sound I can get on this. Let's turn that back up. A little faster. All right, now I'm going to do +3 there. All right, and how's it sound with some saturation, I wonder? All right, that I like because it just makes it a little less annoying on the top end. Gives it a little more fuller body. All right, we're going to bring that back down. We'll do the same thing for our Wendell. Yeah, really weak sauce. Anyway, turn that up. Ooh, slow that down. Nope. All right. All right, now let's mix it in again. I'll bring this up a little bit. Sounds about right. All right, we're going to turn that back on, and we're going to unmute our kick drum and sort of bring this in with that. All right, and that's all we did for the snare drum on this one. Again, keeping it real simple as far as plugins, FET. I think in the end mix, I added a little bit of top end back in. We're on the sample provided. We'll see what we end up with. So hope you learned something.